So I guess if you can hear me, say something. So I'm just sitting out here in the back behind the house today, watching these storm clouds build, and it's absolutely beautiful. I don't know if we're going to get any rain today, which kind of sucks, but it's still beautiful to sit and watch these storm clouds. And I thought, well, I'd get on here and just visit a little bit. Let's see if I can get my chat. Let's see, go to live chat, all messages. But anyway, I just thought I'd get on here and discuss anything that somebody wants to discuss. And while I'm at it, go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself and where I come from. What's my story? Well, my name is Matt. I started this channel, BAM Ranch, and BAM is an acronym for the first letter of the first names of the people that live under my roof. I grew up, farming and ranching in that type of family anyway. So it just kind of seemed fitting. Sound like a good name that sounded good to me, and that's what I went with. This channel used to be called the DIY Prepper, but I hardly ever uploaded at the time, and there just wasn't any activity on the channel at all. And there was another guy I noticed that had the same channel name, so I just kind of changed the name of the channel from the DIY Prepper to BAM Ranch and let that other guy go ahead and have that one and change the name. But anyway, a little bit about me. I grew up in a really small town in Texas. And like I said, it was in a farm and ranch type family. And my granddad was a very successful entrepreneur in almost anything he chose to do. And the majority of his life, or I guess, I don't know, half of his life was in farming and ranching. And that's what his dad did. And it was something that was down in his blood. Whenever I was pretty young, he saw an opportunity that presented himself in the healthcare industry. So him and my grandmother kind of got away from the farming and ranching, moved into the healthcare industry, and was very successful in that. And they kept a few hundred acres of land and sold off all the rest. Kept that few hundred acres of land, and that is where I grew up. That's what I did for my entertainment, and everything else was running around, just hiking around in some of it was, old flat farm ground. Some of it was worthless for anything but pasture. And what's up, Raphael? Did I say your name right? But that's what I grew up doing, running around building forts. And, I had a horse, and I was lucky, I had four-wheeler, and, all of the, I could walk for miles and miles and miles going camping and things like that. And I just really enjoyed it. I do not ever remember a time whenever I was bored growing up, and I was lucky to be able to grow up in that. Um, with there being that amount of land, yep, just like the Ninja Turtle. Right on, brother. So, being with that amount of land, even though it wasn't an active, ranching, there was still some hobby farming and hobby ranching that went on, and a little bit of money produced off of it. But there was just about the same amount of maintenance involved with it. So I did a lot of that growing up. A lot of working on fence, a lot of taking care of livestock. They had several hundred chickens that, let's see, what would you do? Okay, yeah, you can go and screw off somewhere else, dude. But that's how I grew up, out running around, farming ranch type life, taking care of horses and, just that kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed it. Now, although my I was pretty much raised at my grandparents' place. That's I got dropped off there in the mornings, and my mom came and got me at the end of the day. I was given a list of chores to do, by my granddad. He's like, well, you could do this stuff, but then after that, you can go and have fun, which was normally like I had, 10, 12 hours there, and he'd give me like, you know, 9 or 10 hours worth of work to do. Ranch life, if you don't start early, will never. Yeah, that ain't no truth, man. Or that ain't no lie. That's the absolute truth. Let's see. Somebody said something here. Funny guy you make laugh. Many family members. Yeah, there's some trashy people on here. I'll just block those guys. But yeah, if you don't get started early, you don't. Yeah, you just don't. Stuff doesn't get done. I learned that at a young age, and I also learned that I really enjoy hard, productive work. I was never bored. I never thought, man, this sucks. It was a lot of fun. I see, my mother was a more. Sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, I was lucky. Some would say almost spoiled by the fact um, that I was, lucky in that. But make no mistake, I had to, man, I worked my ass off my whole time growing up, but I loved it, and it was my hobby. Shortly after that, I found out that although my family was very successful, that didn't mean I got anything necessarily handed to me. I had to earn what I got. They didn't want to just rub it off on me that the world is handed to you on a silver platter. So a lot of the stuff I got, like go karts and four wheelers and stuff, and that was all stuff that I found that was just broken, like dumpster finds. And the few things that I was able to buy, I had to get by trying to cut grass or something. Work ethic can never be taken away. You don't like jokes? This is a family based channel, and I don't care for stuff that doesn't support that. But so anything that I wanted, I had to earn my own money for, and that was old broken lawnmowers that I dug out of dumpsters, and didn't have any money to fix it because I didn't have any yards to mow. So I just kind of learned, mechanic work through that, and found out that I was, by necessity, I learned to be a pretty good mechanic, a pretty decent mechanic, and actually um, made quite a bit of money growing up off of that. Almost what I'm certainly made more doing that. Just on the side mechanic work by necessity. If I wanted stuff, I had to fix it. I made more doing that than most of my friends did that actually had jobs, especially in the summer. They were working 30, 40 hours a week. And I was making more money fixing old broken lawnmowers and, just on the side mechanic work and four wheelers and stuff like that than, let's see, I'm gonna, I gotta get rid of this dude, man. There, and get rid of him. I don't have any use for people just dragging others down. I'm not gonna really tolerate that here. But anyway, and after I, finished high school and graduated, that's what I went into. That's the field that I went into was mechanic work. And I did that for on and off for several years. Um, After that, hey, listen, guys, I got 11 people watching this and like two thumbs ups. So hit the thumbs up or tap on the screen or something. And let's see if we can't push this out to some other people. I appreciate the subscribes and likes that people are giving me. So I did that on and off, and then I got a chance to go work for the family business, and it was going to be just a part-time job that I was going to use for a couple months until I went to go move on to other things, and that turned out to be a pretty long-term deal. Sorry, going through here trying to get rid of some of these people that just don't belong here. But did that for like 12 years, and I loved it. It was the job that I thought I would have the rest of my life, and I got really comfortable and enjoyed it until about 12 years later. Let's see, reading up on some of this. About 12 years later, my my grandparents who had that company, they wanted to retire, so they sold it. And the outfit that they sold it to completely mismanaged it, and before you know it, it was out of business. So here I was, stuck out looking for another job, and it's something I never thought I'd ever do. So I went back to mechanic work, and did that quite a bit, enjoyed it. Um, I'd always been into the self-sufficiency and survival type stuff, and I thought, well, I'll make me a channel about this, and just kind of doing the stuff that I enjoy doing, doing my hobbies and posting it to YouTube. So I did a little bit of that. I didn't really mess with it too much, but um, I did enjoy posting the videos, and a lot of my earlier videos were, working out there, on the family ranch, and y'all heard me talk about that. And that's what the majority of these earlier videos of mine was just out there doing that kind of stuff. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. I guess I was probably, when did I get into the preparedness thing? I guess, I don't know, man. I've always been into preparedness my whole life, really. I was always the kid that was, watching the news, and well, storms are coming, and I'd have everything put together, and I never had any fear of storms. I just, hey, thank you, man. I never had any fear of storms because I knew that I had done what I needed to make sure that we were ready for it, right? At a young age, I'm talking like, 8, 9, 10 years old. Whenever this, severe weather would be in the forecast, I was always the one that went out and got all the flashlights and the backup power, and I had the battery radio, and um, had all that stuff together, and I kept up with it, and I knew that, hey, if something happened, we were going to be ready for it. I'd be the same way with blizzards. I'd watch the news, and there'd be a big blizzard or an ice storm, and I'd run and holler at my mom. Can you tell my friend happy birthday? Well, hello, this person's friend. Happy birthday to them. But with, like I said, blizzards and ice storms, I was always, I enjoyed the process of getting ready for that stuff. And, I remember telling my mom, hey, we need to get some gasoline just in case we can't, we need to, run a generator or something. And it was inevitably some generator that I dug out of the dumpster somewhere. His name is Nick. Well, happy birthday, Nick. How old is Nick? Nick Gurr. So happy birthday to Nick Gurr. What's the age there? Um, like I said, it was inevitably some generator that I dug out of the dumpster, and got running. And we needed some extra gasoline for that, or so I thought. So I was hassling my mom, can you go get some gasoline so we can, have this thing going if we lose power during this ice storm. And that just kind of progressed. I started at 69 years old, man. Yeah, that's happy birthday. And from there, it just kind of progressed. I remember not really, I never really thought of myself as a prepper. And I guess I still don't. Prepper's the kind of it's the cool word that we use for this stuff, but I always just saw it as taking responsibility, right? And as I got older, I got more into that than I was. I started learning more about What's the best prep gun? The best gun for preparedness is, I'm going to say, some type of carry gun. Just I carry a Glock 19, so that's what I say, because it's the gun that I've got with me. Now, is it the best survival gun, or is it the one that's going to put the most food on your table? Probably not. But I have a hard time going to the mall with an AR-15 and a 12 gauge shotgun. However, I can go to the mall all I want with a concealed carry 9mm Glock 19. I can take that with me everywhere. So if I were to say, if I had to rule it down to just one best, that's what I would say, the Glock 19. As I got a little bit older, I remember whenever all of the survival shows started coming out, like Bear Grylls, and looking at some of the stuff that he was doing and thinking, man, that's stupid. Why would somebody do that? And all this struggle to light fires and all of this. And I remember whenever I was a kid, lighting, which, don't get me wrong, do you have a survival plan that you go over with the family? Yeah, I do. We actually have a pretty extensive survival plan. But I remember going over all of that stuff. Actually, if you want to hear a little bit about a survival plan and learn something from that, if you'll go to my channel page, Andy Hill, if you go to my channel page, I have a video that I did not too long ago where we had to bug out, and it didn't work out like we should have. And one thing that I learned from that was you need to do a whole lot better job, or I need to do a whole lot better job of communicating my survival plan with other people that don't live under our roof. So yeah, definitely go over a survival plan with your family and your other people as well, because you're going to need them. Grills spent a lot of time in hotels. UK shit all over him because he. That's funny. That's funny. But I remember, don't get me wrong, starting a fire is difficult in inclement weather, but I spent my whole life growing up doing that stuff, man. And people would talk about, well, lighters don't work and all of this other stuff. Well, I've never once, like growing up, had a problem getting a wet lighter to work, and then after that came like the doomsday preppers and just all this ridiculous stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, it was entertaining to watch, but it was watching it more to see. I don't know what I think the deal behind that show was. Is the ones who really had their shit together, they didn't want to be. They didn't want to send it out to everybody, right? They wanted to keep to themselves, and all that was really left were these like freaking wackos, man. Um, and I guess that's kind of about the time the whole YouTube thing started getting big, and which I'm not a big channel, like I'm far from it. So that's what kind of inspired me to start a YouTube channel. I never really planned on like making a living off of it, and I still don't. This it's just the I don't have the viewership and the reach to do so. That'd be cool if I could, but it's not something I'm going to work incredibly hard to try to make that happen. But I started posting videos, like I said, about just stuff that I was doing at the ranch. Cleanup stuff and working on fence and fixing broken stuff, and all that stuff is important. It's very important. But I've started to realize there's more to it than that. I mean, people get so caught up in the survival stuff that they forget the only reason you're preparing is so that when things go bad, you can have a good life to live with your family. And part of that is not necessarily hyper focusing on the next EMP or the next, civil war, but it's focusing on building a life that you love living now. There goes my air conditioning unit. If y'all, sorry about the noise, I'll try to talk louder here for a couple minutes. But building a life that you absolutely love living today. And that requires a few things. It requires things that aren't prepper stuff, right? It requires being able to make enough money. Rob, hey man, how are you? Rob was actually one of the first subscribers I had on this channel. Good to see you, man. How y'all been getting any rain out of any of these storms or any of the severe ugly stuff? But do everything you want with all this prepper stuff. But if you're not living a life, actively building a life that you enjoy living today, it's all for nothing, man. It's for nothing. No rain. I wish. Yeah, we didn't get any rain here, man. I've been sitting here in the backyard watching these clouds build, and everybody else is getting rain, but not me. We didn't get nothing. We got a little bit over the weekend. Are you a white Asian person? No, I'm just a regular old dude, man. I am not Asian though, um, and that's kind of the direction that I'm wanting to take this channel. Is not yes, I want to include all of the survival stuff, but I want to include building a life that we love living, whether things go bad or not. I don't want to have to wait until the end of the world to live my best life. And I don't think anybody should want to do that. Raining east of y'all, far enough west. Let's see. Those eyes, man. You smoking the reefer? No, I'm not. I've got squinty eyes. I get plenty of comments on YouTube saying I look like a Neanderthal. So I've just embraced it. But that's kind of where I'm wanting to go. Christ is King. I agree with that. That's kind of where I'm wanting to go with this channel. Yes, let's include all of the practical preparedness stuff we can think of, but understand at the same time, if we don't enjoy the life that we build living, it's all for nothing. And for me, building a more self-sufficient and self-reliant life is that's what I want, right? I love, growing, raising your own food and providing your own income and getting out, separating. Like y'all know, we've recently moved to a new piece of property. Do you think we are all, let's see, think we're all Nephilim? No, I don't. For a moment there, I thought you had a ham radio antenna in the background. No, that's an extension cord. Um, I need to take that down. That was one of the temporary things. I do have a ham radio license, though, KF5NKV. Are you a ham radio guy too? You would be more practically prepared if you could buy canned tuna than if you, yeah. And dollar for dollar, we have so much more food put up than guns. I don't know if y'all have ever tasted a rifle, but they're really tough. You can boil them for years, and they don't. Yeah, they just don't taste good. Rifles taste terrible. But chances are that you're going to need food incredibly sooner than you're going to need a rifle. That's up there pretty good, man. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Canned tuna is, for practical preparedness, worth way more than the rifle. Now, don't get me wrong, I love rifles. I want all of the firearms and all of the ammunition. We can't access them because we're slaves. Yes, I'm studying for my ham radio license. I tell you what, I'm going to give a shout out to a dude that doesn't have any idea who I am, but Radio Made Easy. They actually offer an incredibly good course to get your ham radio license. Now, I'm not very active with my ham radio license, but the amount of stuff that I learned about radio propagation and just the use of radios and how they work was worth way more than any of the communication stuff. Depends on where you live. I got loads. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Luckily, I'm live in Texas, so I'm pretty well have whatever I want here as far as guns and stuff, and I'm thankful for that because if not, I would have to move. I'm not going to live in a state that doesn't allow me to have the firearms that I choose. Now, with that being said, Texas is very, very quickly becoming a little bit more California each day. Supposedly, Noah's three kids slept with Nephilim women. You know, I've heard that. I don't know. I, I don't I don't know. Do I believe in the Nephilim? Yes. I do not think that the Nephilim is near the problem now as it was, but it is something that people need to. Most people don't even know what that is. Let me know when you get your radio set up and when you get your license. Hey Rob, I'm KF5NKV, by the way. And I'm just a tech also. Actually, I need to look. My license is probably coming up pretty close to expiration. So yeah, like I said, Rob, KF5NKV, Kilo Foxtrot 5, November Kilo Victor. I need to get everything set up out here. Um, and you can do a lot with that tech license. 10 meters is open right now, you know, with the 11-year sun cycles. I wish I was an American. Canada keeps, yeah, that kind of sucks, man. Trudeau is, uh, he's making a name for himself to say the least. Trying to catch up with these comments. I hang around with a lot of hams, and it's amazing what you can do with 100 watts. What's a good radio for a beginner? Are you talking about a good, like, mobile radio or a base radio or handheld radio? And by the way, it's amazing what you can do at 5 watts, let alone 100. You know about the purple paint laws? Yeah, with the fence post. And I think that's stupid because there's a really good plausible deniability that someone would say, well, I didn't see it or I didn't know that's what meant that. Put no trespassing signs up and know the people around you, and you don't, your neighbors will help watch out for you and you'll help out, watch out for your neighbors. What's the 11-year sun cycle you were talking about? Well, it's the same thing that caused the solar event that we had. The sunspots go in an 11-year cycle, and it affects the atmosphere and how different radio bands can propagate. It becomes more active during that time, and the 10-meter ham radio band is a lot more active during those active sunspot cycles. My radio's not set up for long range yet, just able to talk to the local repeater to Lubbock. What kind of radio are you going to run, Rob? No ham license, but I take my Bell Fang back. But I've got a whole bunch of Bell Fangs, man. Those are really good radios for what they are, and they're awesome for handing out. You know, if you need something to hand out, I like them. They've got an AM FM radio on them, and they work out great. I love them. Property is theft. Um, Property is theft. I don't understand what in the world that's supposed to mean. Helpful over long fence lines. These comments are going by quicker. Mobile and base. I've got an old Alinco dual band that I use for mobile and a Yaesu. I do not remember the model numbers of them. Um, I would not go with the Yaesu. I'd probably go with the with something from ICOM, just because they're so much simpler. They don't have all the bells and whistles, but they do have a simpler setup. The Bale Fangs, they work just fine for handheld. Not sure what I'm going to run yet. Probably what I can afford. Man, that is true, dude. You think the gun stuff is expensive? Wait till you start looking into like Roan 55 tower and stuff like that. You know, even just the small Roan 25 tower sections. Yeah, really expensive. Bell fangs for now with decent antenna. Yeah, you can buy like those inexpensive Nagoya antennas, and they work amazing. Those roll up J pole antennas work good too. They like exceptionally good. Like I said, radio made easy. They've got some that dude. I think he's a pretty good dude. I think it's Evan Dixon is the name of the guy that runs that. My FM has been going nuts. Helpful over long fence property and stuff. Uh, no ham license, but I take my butt. Yeah. Now, yeah, with a good, decent 30 antenna that's 30 foot in the air, man, that's yeah, you could hit almost any repeater you need to with that. Who makes the best AR upper? Well, the best AR upper. Somebody in the comments can throw their input into that as well. I think who makes the best one is a very loaded question. However, if we're looking for best value, the stuff from Aero Precision is freaking awesome. I've got Palmetto uppers and I love them. I don't have any problem with them at all. Make a damn good AR upper. Quality quality for price, Gibbs, arms, PSA for the price. Yeah, PSA for the price. For a beater thing, something that lives in the truck. Um, Now there's 1,000 different companies out there that I've never even heard of, and or just that I've never used. And I've had really good luck with the Arrow stuff. Um, you can see there's some stuff popping up in the comments down here. As far as you know, you could buy some of the big name stuff. BCM, I'd probably go Arrow or BCM if I was buying any mass produced factory stuff. Would be Arrow or BCM, unless I was wanting something budget. Then Palmetto State Armory all the way, 100%. Let's see, go through here, see what else. So what do y'all what does everybody have for their main squeeze AR? I mean, what do y'all normally run? Um, like I said, I like the Bravo company. I do have a question, and maybe somebody can answer this. But I know all the crap that Springfield dug themselves into. But I heard that their ARs are actually made by Bravo company. I've had gun stores. Give me the quality of Gibbs arms and surprise price. I've built 6.5, 6.5 Creedmoor. Arrow is nice. Yeah, okay, okay. Uh, Looking forward to all the new guns, PSA. Everybody looks forward to that, man. I love getting my Palmetto emails. 12 meter, 10 meter for base station. Um, for a base station, are you talking about what you need to use? Like, which bands do you want to use? Or like a radio that you want to talk on? Uh, Give me some context with that 10 or 12 meter stuff. I think you need to buy an all band radio, even if you can't use them as a technician. I had a friend who owned a Springfield Saint and it blew up, but that may have been his fault. Man, I had one of the Saints. I sold it, came across a better deal. I kind of wish I would have kept it and just paid for the other deal outright. I liked it, man. Um, I loved it. It was a good gun. I didn't have any problems with it. I had a friend. Let's see, which one would be better? Well, different bands have different uses at different times of the day. As a technician, I'd probably stick with 10 meters. There are other people that can answer that question better than me. Uh, I don't use my ham radio a lot, so. But with that being said, 10 meters does really pretty good, at least whenever the solar cycle is in the right spot, which as of right now it is. What was the name of the channel for the people trying to Radio Made Easy? I think that's the name of the channel. Built my ARs from scratch. The lowers are the only brands I can remember. I have parts lists I could refer back to, but the best uppers are the one. Yeah, yeah, that's that's true, Rob. Um, 10 meters is global. Yes, that is true under the right conditions, and if you're doing it right. Um, People talk about global stuff, but there is a little bit of skill involved with the long range bands. Oh, you like the hat? Thanks. I need to replace this thing. It's getting about half wore out. It's about to fall apart on me. My go tos have been the Hollow Sun, 11.5 inch PSA. I tell you what, I wish more companies would make 11.5s, and I really wish they'd make 12.5s. Um, 12.5 is the perfect, like the absolute perfect barrel length for AR as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. How do you say is it crypto? Do you build ARs? If so, hit me up because I'm in the market for one. So yeah, let me hit me up. You can see my email on my about section of the channel page. Everybody seems to talk good things. So yeah, I'd definitely be looking into getting one. I've been wanting to kind of play around and get something else. What is what since you're someone who builds them obviously on a professional basis, what are your thoughts on the 12.5 versus 11.5 uppers on those things? I really like the 12.5. However, I don't know what is the best length gas system to use with those. Um, I've only put uppers together. Oh, okay. So you're not okay. I was under the impression that you were a manufacturer. Yeah, throwing uppers together. Do you, well, with that being said, do you have an opinion on the what gas linked system to use for a good 12.5 rifle? So is everybody still using 5.56 on here? That's all I use. I've already bought so many thousands of rounds. I don't want to have to go reinvest in a crap ton of money in a bunch of 300 blackout or some other random ammo that isn't near as prevalent, especially after I'm already so bought into um, 5.56 as it is. Matt, if you build one, make sure you adjust the gas blocks whenever you dial it in. That's one thing that's on my short list is getting a suppressor. It's time. I need to go ahead and pick one up. I've been talking smack about doing one for years. Yeah, I've built several ARs and I enjoy it. Um, However, I wish I had more time to do so. I stay incredibly busy, um, so I wish I had more time to do that. Have you ever? What do y'all think about the adjustable gas blocks for building your own? Putting your own uppers together. Who makes good ones out there? My rifle's 7.62. Yeah, we talked about that conversion kit. I use AR in the Marine Corps only. The great state of Texas. Yeah, I'm here in the great state of Texas. And Texas, I'm going to tell you this Texas is in trouble. We are turning more and more purple every day. And I don't like the way it's headed. That is, Texas, unfortunately, is not the Texas that I grew up in. And it's every day becoming a little less Texas than Texas wishes it was. So that really kind of sucks. Don't have a 12.5, but my 13.7. 13.7 is nice. The good thing, now, the one thing I like about a 13.7 is you don't have to, mess with all the SBR crap. It's gas, let's see, on a carbine length, and it's gassed perfectly. Won't even run steel. I assume most 12.5s are carbine, but I think Noveski uses a mid. Okay, well, I kind of trust what Noveski does. All these Californians keep moving here. Yeah, not only that, but look at the colleges. The colleges are leftist production facilities. That's what they do. The purpose of a system is not what it is what it does, not what it claims to do. That's a quote from Jack Spirko. And that's what they do. They are leftist production facilities. They're factories for that. They need to fix it before we go full port. It's not going to get fixed, man. Actually, it scares the crap out of me. But I don't know. I guess if Texas were to go full on purple, I'd probably head to Oklahoma if I couldn't live in Texas, which I love Texas. I do not, under any circumstance, want to leave Texas. But if that were to happen, I'd probably go Oklahoma or Tennessee. Um, but we'll keep. What does full purple mean? Well, Texas is traditionally a Republican, a red state, and it's having lots of liberals move here. So blue is Democrat. So it's shading itself a little bit more purple every day. What about Indiana? I don't have any problems with Indiana. It's just not. Just the colleges should be. Let's see. Whoa, got a whole bunch of these come by. Where I retired, law enforcement told me not to clue the area for changing for the worse. It's hella crazy. In in veteran town. Da, da, da. I build uppers and lowers. Do you build them professionally, Akeem Taylor? Do you build those professionally or just put them together for yourself? Um, but yeah, that's what we mean by purple. Um, Now, as far as all these protests that are going on at these colleges and everything, well, here's the deal. Y'all just heard my opinion on how I feel about colleges. They prey on our youngest, most vulnerable citizens of the country. They put them into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt and teach them something that that they're not able to use. The ROI isn't there. I do not like our typical mainstream colleges. I do not necessarily like the leftist protesters. The leftist protesters and the colleges are fighting. My enemies are fighting each other. Why am I going to get involved? Let them do their thing. Let them fix it themselves. It seems to me like something's worked. Yeah, my enemies are fighting. I'm not getting involved. I'm going to let them be. Um, just for yourself. So you build them just for yourself. Yeah, it's fun to put those things together, man. Um, it's the men's version of playing with Legos. Yeah, I love building ARs. I could sit there, like if I had an unlimited amount of money, I could buy 5,000. Yeah, I just build ARs, stack them along the wall. Both my sons attending Fresno engineer. Useless, outdated Rockefeller school curriculum is, yeah. And schools now are the schools are and you're right, you're smart for saying that, um, about the Rockefeller system, that's exactly what it was. The schools were designed to produce amazing factory workers. Do what you're told, go to lunch when you're told, ask permission to go to the bathroom. What do you think about them banning private sales? Here's my stance on gun control. You, not necessarily you, but the whole world thinks they're pro Second Amendment because they want a 30-round magazine. I'm not going to stop until I can get grenades from a vending machine and machine guns that I just, slide my debit card, and I can get mail order recreational nukes. All of that stuff, in my opinion, is protected by the Second Amendment, and they are in violation of the Constitution for not allowing us to have that stuff. Have any experience with Bear Creek Arsenal? I don't. I've never used one of the Bear Creek things. You've been saying that for years. Um, yeah, but that's my stance on the Second Amendment. My politics are, I think gay couples should be legally allowed to marry and move out to a tax free homestead and protect their tax free marijuana farm with fully automatic machine guns, and nobody should be able to say shit about it. Yes, basically, it should be whatever the government could have, everyone else should also. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And we also need to legalize tar and feathering our our leaders when needed, because I think that that's like, you know how you get a tax return if you overpay your taxes. I think they need an option where instead of getting your tax refund, you could donate that to a tar and feather fund, so you could tar and feather politicians that stole your tax money from you. It's all about the money for, yeah, yeah, absolutely. 10% of the big guy, right? Freedom! Purple feathers, tar and feathers. I think we need to be tar and feather politicians. We need to make that a thing and bring it back. I would not suggest Bear Creek side charger, especially not center fire. I had the 22 and it's not holding up well. I've heard that from a few people, and I've heard people that I trust say they love them. So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those companies that occasionally makes one on a Friday before a holiday weekend. I'm not real sure. If I was going to buy today, I would buy Arrow, Bravo Company, or PSA or BCM. Yeah, so PSA, BCM, Bravo Company. I might pick up a Daniel Defense. Message held for review. Uh, Man, some of these people. And it won't let me hide the comment, man. YouTube is being uh, not cooperative at the moment. So, can y'all still hear me all right now that that air conditioner's going? I have a Bushmaster. Bushmaster, man, you remember whenever Bushmaster was like the go-to one? It was you had that, and then like the DPMSs started coming out, and I've got an old Bushmaster that I've had since I was like 18 years old. I actually bought it. It was during the band. It was one of the band models. I need to go ahead and just tear that thing apart and rebuild it the way I want. Uh, what happened to them? Are they got absorbed by another company, right? Just talk about Bushmaster. So y'all can hear me. All right, thanks, thanks. What time is it? Man, I always get to running short on time whenever I need to go get my child. I'm gonna carry y'all with me. Separate from the mothership right quick while I see if I need to go get my child from work. Y'all don't pay attention to my dirty yard. Hey, do I need to go get Autumn from work? She already went and got her. My wife went and got her, so I guess I don't need to. Let's see. I wonder if y'all can see. I'm gonna try to walk over here so y'all can see this storm. I don't know. Um, can y'all see any of that building back there? You might think about, hey, Rob, I will absolutely make you a moderator. I don't know how to do that. Um, I would absolutely make you a moderator. Can y'all see that storm back there? It's not really showing up, is it? Beautiful, beautiful clouds. Yeah, if I can figure out how to make you a moderator, Rob, I'll do it in a heartbeat, because I'm not talented enough to double task this whole thing. And if somebody wants to sit there and talk trash, I don't mind somebody giving like normal, criticism. But people that are being, I don't mind somebody talking shit. What I do mind is whenever somebody says things that if they were to say it to any grown man in public, that they'd get knocked in the face for. That's different. I don't care for that here, and I don't want. I had some one of the lives that I did. I had some racial stuff coming up, and that's something that's absolutely not going to be tolerated here. But yeah, if I can figure out how to make somebody a moderator, I'll absolutely do that. Being obnoxious, pretty much, yeah, yeah. But that's whenever people can hide behind a keyboard, it is what it is. Those people are cowards, and everybody knows that. But what else do you expect a crappy person to do? That's shitty people do shitty things. Uh, 12-inch used carbine gas system with adjustable gas block. Who makes a good adjustable gas block, by the way? Um, I never have really messed with them. We call the Twitter fingers. But yeah, who makes a good adjustable gas block? Because I need to pick one of them up. Hey, I want to say, guys, I appreciate y'all hopping on this thing. I didn't know if anybody was going to view, but this is actually one of my most viewed live streams. Give me a sec. I got a great company. Yeah, let me know what that is. What that company is for those. Um, I really see a lot of value in an adjustable gas block if you've got, especially if you're running a suppressor. My brother-in-law works for the local sheriff's office, and I guess I could ask him because whatever gas block they're using, they make an adjustment for whenever it's suppressed, and then an adjustment for whenever it's unsuppressed, and their guns run perfect. Um, go to your parts room. All right, yeah, I'll be here, and their guns run absolutely perfect. Wilson Combat make a good adjustable block. Man, okay, I know Wilson makes some good stuff. I have some Wilson stuff. None of their guns are overpriced. Maybe with their 1911s and stuff, the values there. But a lot of their stuff, they're running on their name, man. But if they make a good gas block, I guess got to write the check. Um, I would never buy one of their AR-15s. Um, if I was a 1911 guy, I might look into one of their 1911s, but I think they've gone less custom and more production, overpriced production with rebranded Duracoat. I don't know. And from what I guess, even some of the bigger, I'm not real familiar with what Les Bear's doing now, but I've even heard that some people say that about Les Bear and Ed Brown as well. I use Wilson Combat, makes great blogs. They also have, yeah, they do. I would buy one of their barrels. Who makes their barrels? I remember reading who made their barrels at one time. I do not remember who it was at the moment. If the gas block fails, they place it. Nice talking to you. Not many open-minded people willing to talk about, take opinions. Hey man, thanks. I appreciate it. So what else is going on? What else is going on? My boring self is running out of subjects that I kind of had in my brain to talk about. Did anybody run into any trouble with the narrowly escaped apocalypse that made the northern lights and all of that? From what I understand, Starlink or whatever company Elon Musk has had some satellite troubles, and there are a bunch of farmers that had their auto steer for their tractors wasn't quite working right. It was saying they were like 6 feet off. The fake meat they're feeding us. That's been going on a while. The fake meat. Yeah, let's see. No, I saw some in New York. The fake meat. Well, here's the deal. Y'all see this? That's where I work. I work at Tyson. I work at one of their beef plants. We do no chicken whatsoever. Um, we are killing a lot of beef every day, but I do know that they are invested in some of the. Yeah, nice hat. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Need to get it replaced. It's just about to fall apart on me. You saw the Northern Lights, man. I'm in Texas, dude. I'm in the Texas Panhandle. I saw the Northern Lights. That's crazy. But I want to say this: as far as the fake meat, they have got a long ways to go before they can make that profitable. And I think that's something that people forget about. They're trying lab to grow lab meat. Well, yeah, there's some investment, and I think that even Tyson is, which I don't want to say too much about Tyson because I'm currently employed with Tyson. Talk to me in person, and we can email back and forth about opinions on things. But the profitability right now isn't there. It's that's something I think people forget about. Um, you in the land of the free. Yes, of course, I'm in the land of the free. What's wrong with lab meat? I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with lab meat. And as far as like Florida, they put out a ban for that. That was stupid. Why would you ban an entrepreneur from selling a product? I don't know enough about it to have an opinion on what's good or bad about lab grown meat. However, I can't imagine it being the same as eating like a real live cow. Uh, good old Angus cow. So, like I said, I don't know if there's necessarily anything wrong with it, so to speak. But, well, basically, I'm not educated enough on the decision on that to give you a good opinion. I'd have to learn more about it. I don't. I'm not impressed with it, and I'm not gonna eat it. But that's personal biases that are causing that decision, not necessarily that I'm educated about it. Not that I know anything about it. It could be bad for humans. 15 years, we could see some changes in the human body. I think we need years of study. It could be, yes. It could be bad for humans, but it could be good for them too. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just not. I don't know enough about it to form an educated opinion. I'm not going to buy it because it's going to be too damn expensive, and I don't necessarily trust science meat. Right? I don't trust it. Not that I know a lot about it, but I just don't trust lab meat. I refuse to eat anything grown in a lab. For the most part, yeah. However, you could say that almost any chicken you buy nowadays is grown in a lab. How do you define lab? Is a enclosed building where birds never see the light of day? You could maybe call that a lab. I don't know. I know enough to not trust it. Yeah, yeah. If it's something that government or big corporations have their hands in, I know enough that that right there is tells me that I don't really need to trust it until I'm proven wrong. Buying silver or ammo in preparation for massive inflation, surging the U.S. dollar. BRICS is coming out with an asset. They say that, yeah. And BRICS is something that we definitely need to give some concern about. I don't buy gold. I don't buy silver. I have some, but the vast majority of what my money is spent on is hard assets that are useful. In the end of the world, what's going to be more useful? Food and the ability to still solve problems for people. If you have a compact tractor with a grapple on it and during a disaster, who's more valuable, right? If you can cut firewood and you have 7,000 cords of firewood set back, who's more valuable? The guy with that or the guy with the silver? There aren't enough studies about the side effects. Yeah, it could very could well be cancerous. Cancers. We don't know. This is a test. What does AR stand for? It stands for whatever you want, man. Stands for whatever you want. If you're talking about the AR-15, it was originally meant Armalite rifle. Gold is only good wealth transfer to their new system. I'm going to explain something. Here's the thing about gold and silver. It works. It is a storage of wealth. With gold and silver, it is absolutely useless to me here in Texas. Whenever I see a smoking deal in Connecticut, I can't pay for that with gold and silver. So, as far as an alternate currency, I tend to look into Bitcoin. And if you are still at the point where you hate Bitcoin, you need to learn more about Bitcoin. I can instantly buy anything I want from somebody in Japan right now with Bitcoin. I'm not going to do that with gold and silver. What's my favorite car? I'm not a car guy. So any good 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive pickup that has enough miles left in it to be useful. MG42, yes, you know, got tractors, chickens, meat, sheep, and cows. Stack more of them, man. Get as much of that stuff as you can. I we don't have a. I always had access to a tractor at the ranch. We moved to this new piece of property. I don't have a tractor, and I miss it every day. I got to get on that. Stop it on a non-gun person wouldn't know. Uh, Wealth transfer to the new system. Um, no such things as chickens. That is stupid. Uh, Bitcoin is going to pop off, especially after the halving. Yeah, and it's not just because of that. I mean, you got to think BlackRock just got that ETF approved for Bitcoin, which hasn't really, like, all of the Bitcoin mined since BlackRock started that ETF has already been sold. Somebody already owns it. It's already gone. Um, I hate the propaganda on the AR. Yeah, I know. I'm with you there. But with that being an ETF, it opens that asset up to things like pension funds for teachers and city workers and people that work for the state. You laugh at me, laugh at you for what? Nobody want that. I don't want that ETF. But if you're a pension fund manager, it's the only way that you're allowed to enter the Bitcoin space. I'm not buying the ETF. I'm going to buy actual Bitcoin. But once they have established, Bitcoin in an ETF, a Bitcoin ETF into these state pension funds and stuff like that, they're not going to mess with it. They're going to quit jacking with it. BlackRock is in all of the money. I've got a Cub Cadet old diesel for $200. PTO saved my butt this winter with this. Yeah, right on, man. I Bitcoin is going to be, yeah, especially after the halving. Okay, I guess I'm caught up. I'd rather buy a commodity than a security. Yeah. I buy both. Why can't you buy both? Why can't you buy securities and commodities? Securities grow wealth. Commodities save wealth. Pay $300. Um, I got that ETF. My buddy actually had to think the ETF is 401k like 3 years ago. So the profit is ridiculous. I pay 300. I get that for 690. Diver shy. Oh, diversify your portfolio. Absolutely. I I generally just stick with SPY. On occasion, I'll pick up some kind of stock that I'll pick up Apple or Tesla, more of like on a whim, playing with it than actually expecting to make it a return. But SPY is it's stable, it's good, and it grows. You can probably do better than that, but just simple S&P 500 index fund is, I keep it simple as far as portfolio based stuff. Maybe SBI is wild. I agree with that. Um, Now, I do have some other funds that I bought. I don't remember what the tickers are for those. I started out whenever I was 16 years old with just a Vanguard IRA, and I've changed it 1,000 times since then. But let's see. Nokia was good until Robinhood, until Robinhood screwed you over. You were one of the ones that got caught up in that Robinhood crap. I tell you what, though, for everything that people say that's bad about Robinhood, Robinhood introduced more people to active investing than almost any other company out there. It became the Palmetto State Armory of the investing world. So we have to appreciate what Robinhood did as far as that. Let's see. Trying to, I gotta, sorry, I gotta backlight my screen back here. Otherwise, I can't read what it says. Um, was Nokia the only thing that you got screwed on with Robinhood? So how many people we still got in the chat? There's 6 people in the chat, 6 thumbs up. Hey, y'all give me some more thumbs up. I appreciate it. So don't be a hoe and share the show. Let's see if we can't grow this thing. I attempted to film a podcast yesterday, by the way, and that uh, I had jury duty yesterday, and my brain was scrambled, and it didn't work out very good. That's the reason why I didn't have the podcast yesterday. Next week, I'm going to try to do it on safety and security. Not what am I saying? Not safety and security. Self sufficiency, self reliance. Um, so that'll be coming up next Monday at 8 p.m. I'm going to try to do it live. I'll have to see with it being May. My daughter's graduating. Yeah, it was. I invested nine k the year before. Options when Robinhood screwed me up. I was up to like 700. Oh man, that hurts, dude. That hurts. Ouch. Um, yeah. There's a whole bunch of yeah. There's enough. That right there says everything you need to know about how Robinhood screwed all those people over. But anyway, is there has anybody that's viewing right now actually even watched anything with the podcast that I've been trying to do, or am I speaking to a whole new audience here? I have trouble remembering who all was on that, but that'll be next Monday at 8. Self-reliance and self-sufficiency. Walked away with, oh man, what was your basis on that 80K? Hopefully your basis was low enough that didn't eat you up too bad. You're subbed. Hey, thanks, ZMP Tactical. Hey, I'm a really small channel. Let's see, Akeem Taylor, first time here. Hey, consider subscribing. I'm a small channel. Like, I'm an incredibly small channel. I've got a couple of videos on here that got, a couple 100,000 views, but that is very few and far between. And I really want to grow the channel, and every little subscriber counts. I did notice once I reached like the 3,000 subscriber, um, that was from a not. Oh, dude. Uh, really small channel, bigger than mine, bud. Hey, Rob. Have you been? How big is your channel, Rob? Because I've got like what 3,000 subscribers. Uh, about the instant I hit the 3,000 mark, I started getting all sorts of emails from people wanting to do sponsored videos about or collaborative videos for products that I've never heard of, and I just normally just delete the email. I'm starting a channel. What's some good advice? Some good advice is to speak to somebody that has a better channel than I do. To be honest with you, people are going to talk shit. Ignore them. And I have one particular video where somebody was talking shit like a lot. So I pinned their comment to the top. That one action, people started arguing back and forth in that comment, drove more views than anything else that I've got. Hey, yeah, thanks for the sub there. Don't remember for sure, maybe 1,600. Starting a new channel. But yeah, that's my best channel advice to you is to take advice from people who are doing and have successfully done the things that you want to do. Be consistent with it, make videos that are interesting, and put way more energy into it than what I do. Any person that's watching this could absolutely ZMP Tactical. Shoot me an email. Go to my channel page, the About section, homesteadlearningproject.com. Send me an email because in 20 minutes after I close this stream, I'll forget about it. But yeah, I don't mind shouting you out. Um, Find somebody who has actually done the thing you want to do and ask them. Um, don't take investing advice from broke people. The same thing goes with YouTube. I think we could all have successful YouTube channels if we had the time and energy to put into it, and we would all be millionaires. I don't have the time or the energy to put in it to become a millionaire, so it's just sort of something I do playing around. Hey, come here, puppy. Come on. I want to introduce y'all to one of my dogs. Come here. Come here. Oh, see this little guy? This is Riker. Oh, don't knock it over. There's Riker. There's Kaiser. Oh, here's Heidi Hope. And here's Kaiser, get down. I'm trying to show the people. There's Heidi Hope. She's getting some age on her, man. We don't have a whole lot of time left with her. But yeah, I don't mind shouting you out. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about? Or are we going to wrap this up? If y'all want to discuss something else, we can do that. I don't mind. I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed the interaction with everybody. Give it another couple minutes. While I'm waiting on that, I'm going to kind of remind everybody, this show is sponsored by nothing other than, what is my shoe size? Like, I don't know, 11 or something. 10, 11, 11 and a half. I don't know. It doesn't matter though. This show is sponsored by y'all liking and commenting and sharing and subscribing. That's all I got. Have you ever seen a ghost? Have I seen a ghost? Yeah, I believe in ghosts. I absolutely do. I'm going to bounce out. Catch you later, brother. Hey, Rob, have a good one, man. Hey, and let me figure out how to do that whole admin, and I'll make you one. I'll make you an admin. And there will be zero expectation on your end of anything. But if you happen to jump in and you're an admin and you see something that you think needs taken care of, do it. By the way, I'm 12. You're 12 years old? It's been a pleasure. Hey, thanks. 12, what's my favorite gun? My favorite gun and my most useful gun is two different things. My favorite gun is probably one of the ones that I inherited from my granddad after he passed away. My favorite gun, or my most useful gun, is my Glock 19 because it's with me every single day. Should I get a tattoo? Do whatever you want, dude. I don't care if you get a tattoo. My wife has a bunch. I have one. I wouldn't mind getting another one. I don't know if y'all can see that. We just got some major outflow from a storm. I'm about to have to go in. It's going to get too windy out here. What's a good tattoo? I don't know. You have to choose your own tattoos. I don't know. I've been wanting to get one that just says simply "Do epic shit." So that's probably what my next tattoo will be, and that may actually never happen because it's such a low priority. I love the Glock. I have a Ruger Mark IV. Dude, those Ruger Mark IVs are freaking amazing. I love my little Rugers. I've got one of the Mark IIs. Um, I love it. I have shot thousands upon thousands of rounds out of that thing. So yeah, I love it. Yeah, man, get inside Texas weather, getting us a crazy. Yeah, yeah, man. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna step over here where I can see around my house. And let's see if we can see. Am I back? Am I back? I think I'm back. I don't know. I'm losing my internet connection. So, well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. I just felt the raindrop. Yep, it's starting to sprinkle on me. I'm gonna get off of here. I really appreciated hanging out with you guys. Um, and so, anyway, until next time, y'all be safe.